It's whatever modules those were.
8, 9, 10. Is that what
That was
the
it.
numbers were? Were they 8, 9? Huh? Yes. Is that the numbers that they were? This is so confusing for us because we've like for years, 10, 15 years done like week 1 is module 1, week 2 is module 2. So now we're on module 10 and we're actually in week 4, but we're doing week 3. So, right? Yeah, 8, 9, 10. The 365 system, the time management wizard, managing the world's most difficult person. You guys all get to see all 3 of them?
Yep.
Did you identify with the world's most difficult person?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I knew that.
You see, Brian's wife put the sign on his mirror. You are looking at the problem. You're now looking at the problem. I love that. But then you're also looking at the solution. Hi, Katie. You were having trouble getting in?
Good morning. You know what I did with my computer today? So I just started up on my phone. So that works too.
I also just opened it like 3 minutes ago. So
no worries. It just kept saying on my computer, Zoom is not available or something. It was the weird, I've seen the message before. So no worries, just got my phone. So how are you all doing?
Good.
Good.
You all staying in this cold?
No.
Not really.
I can remember when we were in, and Tim, you'll remember this too, when we were in the 2008, 9, 10, 11, when it was almost every house was in foreclosure that we were showing. And there was no electricity on in any of the houses. And it was, I mean, you had to be dressed like an Eskimo, and they were the shortest showings in history. Right?
In and out.
Yeah, in and out.
You're talking about when they were vacant and they were foreclosures?
Yeah, they were vacant, they were foreclosed. There were a lot of houses that like the electrical wiring, the plumbing was all pulled out. Like people would be pissed off, and so they would take like everything out of the walls.
Furnace, cabinets.
Furnace.
You put it www.agentsteachingagents.com.
There we are.
Yeah, it was a very interesting time to be in real estate, and there was nothing you could ask for nothing done, like zero, and you were dealing with a bank, and you'd maybe get an answer in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they wrote all the rules.
My sister got a smoking deal that way though. Like they had done crazy things to the house, like take a knife and like just gone through the drywall, just crazy angry things.
Yeah.
But if you're handy, like you can get into a pretty nice property.
There are a lot of people that made a lot of money during that period of time. Most people very legally, many people not so much. Yes, it was not a good time or a happy time to be representing a seller who had a house that was worth 120,000 and they owed 200 on it. Yeah, you really cut your teeth in a market like that, I'll tell you. The survivors can do it. So, all right. So we've got, well, we're missing a lot of people.
I'd only heard from Ryan and Marcus that we're not going to be here.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. We have a few more. So today, one of the things that Tim and I talked about that we wanted to do was we want to kind of like get a feel for where you all are and what are the things that you're feeling like you're sorry, that was somebody else. What are the things that you're feeling like you're kind of succeeding and making some progress on? And what are the things that are kind of challenging and struggling for you? So let's let's just do a little round of let's find out where you guys are and what you're feeling right now. What's working, what's not working, what can we do more of, what can we do better with from there. Kathy, let's go with you first. You smiled.
Too smiley, darn it. Well, I have an active buyer and a new listing that I've never done before. So while it's good and exciting, it's kind of that clunky feeling on the inside of really trying to figure out how how to go through this process step by step and making sure I don't mess anything up. I'm kind of like a person who likes checklists and make sure you do this and that. And I haven't really, I would love like a source for that. I know we have like the dot loop thing, but there are just so many little pieces that it makes me a little nervous that I'm missing.
Who's your mentor?
Pieces. It's Raquel, and she's awesome.
Raquel. Okay.
Yeah. She's great.
Okay.
See,
But
that's
yeah.
the thing about this industry is that there's no right or wrong way or one way. It's a matter of getting in, doing it your way. So like we don't have necessarily have lists. This is how you do it. So yeah, you have kind of, that's why you're here.
Yeah. it just preys on the insecurities. So that's where I'm at with those. But I sent out my announcement mailer on the 1st, and I just sent out a round of like Valentine's, and I had some pop buys for a few of those people to go with it on the coldest week of the year. It's fine. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So what it reminds me of is you're doing all the great things to get the fish to come to your little area where you're fishing, and you're actually getting bites, but you never asked, or you didn't learn how to clean the fish and get it in the freezer into the pan. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, do I really want to send this if I don't know how to
Yeah. Like,
deal with
okay,
it?
now I got somebody, like now what do I do with them? And that's why you have a mentor.
Right.
You know, the mentor, and do not hold back on every piece of it. Like, this is the place where the mentor is there for you through every step, should be there for you through every step through this transaction part. And then it's like riding a bike. You know, you can take the training wheels off slowly and get your balance, and you'll remember. You'll never get to a place where you say, oh yeah, I've like experienced every single one of these possibilities, because there will always be a new experience that is presented to you. So yeah, and so you've got some success going. You have some challenges because you are succeeding a little bit, and so I think that, you know, step by step, and we're all here for you too. Like Tim and I are. And Rhonda too, you know, I mean, any one of us can help you and answer a question. So, you know, you got a team around you. So Dennis,
Thank you.
Dennis, what are you feeling like good about, successful about, what's working, and I know you've been doing this for a while, but what are you getting from being part of all of this that is either helping you, creating more work, struggles? Talk to us.
So I think that this week has been probably the most meaningful learning for me, just the learning to manage myself and you know, having been a special ed teacher before, I had all the answers to help other people who struggled with time management and stuff, but I've never really looked in the mirror to see how that would apply to myself. So this week was really helpful to me, I think. So I just need to probably go back and reread this 6 or 7 more times and work on it.
What one nugget did you get out of it that you could put into place right away in your time? Just you're talking about time management, managing yourself. So
a couple of things. One, I need to make checklists for myself daily. I need to probably sit down at night before I go to bed and make out my next morning's checklist.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, I need to get myself out of bed earlier, because I mean, my kids' daycare is 168th and Center, and I live on 84th and Harrison, and it's my job to get them to daycare every morning. So I just need to get my butt out of bed and get them to daycare earlier, and probably have myself showered and then just come into the office here while I'm out dropping them off to work on my stuff for the day. My office is in Papillion, but I mean, I can find a spot
Wow.
and sit down and do my stuff.
You're all over the map here.
Right,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah. So what helps you to be able to be disciplined about that? Like, are you like an alarm guy? Are you
I just need to not be lazy. I need to not hit the snooze. I need to get up and get in the shower.
no snooze? My son has trouble getting up, and he has first it's kind of a beep 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 thing that goes off, then this wonderful music plays, then it's like rock music that plays. I mean, there's like all these different things, and still like sleeping right through it. So I don't know what works for you, but whatever
I
works
tried
for you.
mine. I had Eye of the Tiger for a while as my alarm. I've got like the Ghostbusters theme, I think, right now. I try and make it something that's gonna get me awake, but
Yeah.
I just need to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that'll help. I think this is a question that for all of you guys is you need to know if you're a morning person or you're and like you have to get like going in the rest of the day. Are you a nighttime person? Because that has a lot to do with when you should be exerting your biggest amount of energy on the most important things. So like for me, I'm a morning person, and even though I have perpetual energy that pretty much goes like till like my energy is just the same in the evening as it is in the morning. I just try to give myself less things to stimulate my mind. But so morning time is when I will do the things that take the most energy. So knowing that about yourself is also, and I think Brian alluded to that in this video too. And one book that I would say, and Dennis, this would probably be a really good book for you. I don't know if you listen. I would rather listen to this book than read it. It's the Tony Schwartz book, the Power of Full Engagement. This guy is a professional energy manager. Like some of the tops of major corporations hire him to manage their energy, and which converts to managing their time. But it's a really, really good listen. I'd rather listen to it than read it. I've read it. I've listened to it several times, and that is probably one of the best ones that made me understand how to manage the daily energy. So that would be great for you. Hey, Paul, what's going on for you?
Find my unmute there.
Yeah,
No, I think it's great. I mean, I continue to feel like I just appreciate the step-by-step, this is what you should be doing at this point in time. And for me, it specifically was laying out, these are the activities and this is the volume that you should be doing it in. And if you do so, then the expectation is this. So I just really appreciate the black and white of, hey, this is what your activity should be. If there were one area I was, would say I'm challenged a little bit, probably similar to what Kathy articulated. Buffini made me laugh in the video when he said it's easy for you to focus all your time on real estate ready task. I focus none of my time on real estate ready task. I'm focused on the fishing part of it. And so it has led to some opportunity. Like I connected with a couple people in the past week that will be first time home buyers. And so I kind of need to talk to them about what their options would be for, special first time home buying programs. And I'm just not up to speed on that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of the stuff that I just keep running into is, not having experience in some of the areas where, I'm uncovering opportunity. And, I think I'm just going to have to spend some time, getting educated on that.
What's the focus that pulls you the most? Like when you think about like, okay, I'm going to spend some time doing this. What is that? What thing pulls you?
Well, first of all, I generally try to do what the book tells me to do.
Wow.
as far as lead cultivating.
Tim,
lead-
we need to have some kind of an award for that. It actually does what the book says to do.
I try to prioritize my database and lead cultivating activities and, being in touch with people. So I appreciated the mailer. I started this week doing the calls. And so that's where I've been focused.
Okay, perfect. Jennifer Thinker.
Hi.
Hi.
So I right now feel a little behind the 8 ball in regards. So I joined this program late.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to catch up, and I'm still trying to figure out my mentor situation. So I'm a little kind of just behind, feeling a little scattered.
We're
But
working on that, just so you know, we're on that.
We're working on it. Yeah, we just got word this morning. I'm going to call you later today, and we'll talk. But I'm on it.
okay,
Yeah.
no concerns, no concerns.
And you're not that behind. I understand how it feels.
Uh-huh.
Don't be stressed out. This is only our third or fourth class or whatever. You can still catch up, but go on.
Yep, no, and so I'm working on my database. I've sent out my announcement cards. I'm finalizing my second mailing today to get that out. I've had some conversations with some of my prospects this last week. So it's just that's the majority of the time that I've been doing right now.
That's fantastic. Like there's nothing more you should be working on right now. So just a little inside secret. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. Tim's like 1,000 years. And we always feel like we're behind. So I don't think we ever feel like we've got to that next place. But if you're doing the activities right now, that will pull you to the next things that you feel like you're not doing. It'll present itself. So that's perfect as far as I'm concerned. So it's the stacking effect. Remember he talked about the stacking effect, what you do with your calls, your notes, your Popeyes and all that, it's a stacking effect. So whatever you're doing in that direction right now is starting to stack on top of each other, and that will create the momentum. So great. I went to Dennis. Rhonda. Oh no, Rhonda.
Yes, ma'am.
Never mind, Rhonda. Katie Boyle. Are you okay to talk?
I am. Yeah. So as you were asking these questions, Carol, great reflection questions. And I was kind of trying to figure out the way to articulate this. So I love this last week, because I do know about myself that time management and trying just to juggle everything is definitely an area that I need to work on. Because like how he said in the video, it's really easy to feel like you're doing all of this stuff, but really you get to the end of the day and you're like, wait a minute, what have I really accomplished? Mm-hmm. That type of thing. So I loved just his idea of sticking to a daily routine. For me right now, it's just juggling with finishing up, my full-time job this semester and then moving in to real estate full-time. I loved some of his suggestions with regards to the power hour. That's something that I definitely want to get going and get started just with those lead generation activities. And I too loved his stacking effect idea, because I have to be honest, like when he was first saying about like, you do, your notes and then your e-report. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm going to just be inundating people with this stuff. But how he explained it with the follow-up just made so much sense. So yeah, so I don't know if I'm answering your question or not, but
Absolutely you are. Do you remember the win the day formula?
Yes. Yep. And yeah,
can you tell me that?
So I need to have that just like up and on my desk.
So I call that the forgiveness formula. So it makes me be okay with not doing everything I need to do every day. And it also gives me if I kind of like the real estate test, if you get 70, you pass, you get your license. If you get 100, you pass, you get your license. So for me, win the week, the win the day it's how many hours in the day? Remember? 2 hours in the day. Win the week is how many days of the week?
4.
4,
4. And then how many weeks do you have to win the month?
3,
And then
3.
how many months to win the year?
8.
That's pretty easy. Like you could take off like for 4 months. Pretty
When
much.
you truly absorb the concept of that and winning the day, it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders.
Yes.
Because I always felt like, oh, I failed. Oh, I failed. Oh, I failed. And it was a mind shift when I was like, okay, I didn't fail. I won the day. I won the day.
Yeah. Can I add something to that? And that is so
Totally.
true.
That's what this time is for.
So I feel like in a lot of his, at the end of his, I can't remember what he calls them, but he highlights different people and
Mhm.
how
Yeah.
changes in their business and I really can relate, especially to like the gals who are like, I felt like I was kind of like my family was coming in last and everything else is coming in first. I've been feeling that way lately. So as I was watching that, I was like, oh, I'm not alone. But so does that go back to like the win the day that they're focused? Like they were talking about how they had made all these positive changes, but I like in that I kind of wanted to be like, hey, can I call you? Because what have you specifically done? Like, because I feel like I just need more specifics on what they're doing in order to put their family first and things like that.
It's going to come when he talks about the 5 different circles. So the Buffini logo that is on everything that has the 5 circles together. There are 5 blue circles. There's a significance to those 5 blue circles. And he'll spend some time. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure he'll spend some time and talk about that, because that's probably one of the most important pieces of this entire program. So the 5 circles are your spiritual life, your business life, your financial life, your personal life, both physically and mentally. So that's how you exercise, take care of yourself, and then how you take care of yourself mentally. So those 4, and then your family relational life. So those 5 circles have to be spinning in all at the same time in order for you to be part of what is the equal to the good life. So this all will make so much sense to you guys when you come around full circle in this, and why Tim and I called it the good life. And the Good Life group, when he and I first started doing business, and it ended up being Tim and Tom's coming together with Better Homes and Gardens. So all of that is part of it, the 5 circles. So here's where the riff starts to happen, is when, and I've seen so many agents, and Tim, you will probably attest to this also. I've seen so many agents whose personal life is just in the crapper, excuse me, but just awful. Their relationships are terrible. They're financially hurting. They're driving around in a Tesla and they have so much debt that they don't know what to do with it. So can you see like what is happening? But their business looks really good. Like their business looks really good. It looks like they're doing fine, but their relationships falling apart, or their financial pictures falling apart, or personally, they're like drinking too much, doing drugs, whatever. I mean, whatever it is that people go to when they aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing on a regular basis, or an abuse situation. So that's kind of where we're going to get to, is like, how do you get that balance? And for you to bring it up right now is just amazing, because
it's going to get more. It's going to be more intense as the market picks up, and as you become a busier agent. This question that you just brought up, Katie, is only going to intensify. It's going to be learning your rhythms. The other thing is that we're way ahead of ourselves here, but real estate comes in rest and run cycles where you get really, really busy and then you slow down. You get really, really busy and you slow down. You need to learn to understand those cycles and be able to articulate those cycles to your family. So you can say to your family, I'm going to be really freaking swamped over the next 3 months, but when we're done, we're going to go on vacation or whatever. And so
what is that, Tim?
Yeah.
Well, you know. But or like I don't show a lot of houses now, but like when I did show houses, like and I was like I felt like I was out all night. It's also a little different because we don't show 10 houses in a row like we used to. I would arrange, like if I knew I was going to be working late, then I would schedule. I would tell my son that day that I'm going to pick him up from school. And then I pick them up from school because I normally don't. I pick them up from school. We have a little time. We go home, have dinner, and then I go out and show houses. And I felt like that was my balance. Or scheduling, like because I only have one child and one husband at home. But there are times where I was working really a lot on the weekend, and I would find things for them to do. I would put them off, send them to the zoo while I went and did this. So honestly, you're going to start thinking it's going to get creative, and it's never going to, you're always going to be juggling their family and life.
And that's why all these pieces that will come together as far as systems and organization. And we're telling you right now, week 4, we just told you that you're okay if you only accomplish something 4 days a week. We just told you that. Now we're telling you also how the system works in order to make that happen. And if you have like your power hour every day, it doesn't have to be 2 hours. That blew my mind right away. Like I immediately started like fighting against that. Oh my God, I can't do 2 hours at a time of this. So I let myself off the hook, and I was like, okay, well, I'll be okay if I do this same thing every day, same time for half an hour, and then I'll add a half an hour. It always went into more time. But so giving yourself some grace is really, really important. But also, by the time you start setting those things up for yourself and establishing a routine and having systems, you're not going to have to go out and try to beat the streets to get business, because you will have set up a business that happens whether you're doing anything or not, as long as you're continuing to do your activities and your systems in place. The business will come to you. Our business now is 100% referral. I can tell you, I can predict how many referrals that we will get, as long as I keep on doing the things that I'm doing and the systems are in place. And that's where you can get to in your business. And that's why these small things are so important right now for setting up. So that was probably a little bit longer than we needed, but it also is a really important piece of all of this, because it'll get worse before it gets better for your time. So who wants to go next? Whoever, just jump in.
I can go. I was just going to comment. I too, like Katie, am working full time. So oftentimes I feel very overwhelmed and feeling as though I'm failing, and then I feel like I'm failing at everything. So for me, these modules that we covered this week were really helpful. It was really reassuring, particularly the 2 hours a day, 4 hours a week type of thing. It allows you to feel like, hey, I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. It's kind of not you have to give 100% of your time or you're failing. So
right.
Me too, Carol, I felt like it gave me a little grace to, calm down. Yeah, you may be juggling, but you're doing okay if you're dedicating a set amount of time. So yeah, for me, the time management and the pieces that all the information we went over in these modules for me was extremely helpful to continue having a positive mindset, like I'm doing fine.
You're creating critical mass. That's it. So what you want to do is, and Brian will say this, and is own a piece of your client's minds. And that's not in a psychopathic kind of way, but that when they hear real estate, they think you. I got a referral yesterday, and it was from a couple that give me lots of referrals. So whenever they hear anything that has to do with real estate, they immediately think of me. And then when the people call, they already love me, which is really weird. Like to have somebody that, oh, I feel like I know you, because they talk about you and they said that there's just nobody else. So just forget anybody else that you'd even think about and just go to this person. And that's a walking, talking billboard. I mean, do you know how much marketing it would take dollar-wise to get that? And it doesn't, when you actually have built on, you build on it and build on it and build on it, and it just creates the momentum that you're looking for, and you will have, and I think women, moms tend to have that feeling of guilt, and parents, period, Mr. Moms and Mr. Dads, and there's such a sharing of responsibility with children now that it's not just like a woman that feels that anymore. It's women and men that feel that, and I think you just have to see it and admit it. Did you notice in your box you guys got that laminated thing, Win the Day? Did you get that in your box? It's a page that is laminated, and it's
Is it Win the Day, or no? Isn't it? Is it Win the Day, or is it just?
I thought it was the Win the Day.
I think
That's
that's the power hour
No, we
thing.
just got the power hour.
It's the power hour. Okay. Well, actually, then I would copy the Win the Day is something too that to have in front of you. It's really, really helpful to have that in front of you or in your book, someplace where when you're working on your activities, you can see it. It's kind of I used to have it as a screensaver. I did it as a screensaver just to kind of like, to let myself off the hook, like constantly feeling like I needed to be doing something, even if something was nothing. I needed to be able to say to myself at the end of the day, well, at least I did that. So, yeah, I think you guys got a lot of really good stuff out of this, and probably there was more meat in these three videos than in most of them. Tim, I don't know if you watched them again, if you went on there and watched them again, but it was a great reminder to go through them. And it's not as elementary as I thought they would be in a 100 Days to Greatness class. So it's really, really good stuff. Who wants to go next? Marlon, you look like you're like one of those performers who's all we can see is like your thing on your shirt.
Your teeth.
You there, Marlon?
He's still muted.
Yeah, you want to chat with us a little bit? Need some light in your life over there.
Well, my wife likes working in the dark, so I'm trying not to get it too bright for her.
Okay, all right.
I have my glasses on, so.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, I don't know if you were here when I asked the question, but like, what is it that you're feeling? First of all, did you watch the 3 videos?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So
what did you get from the videos, and what kind of successes are you feeling, or things that you're embracing right now that are helping you to kind of energize your business, and what challenges are you up against?
Well, I'm still working my way through the workbooks, and as far as what I was able to pick up, there are some of the things that I know I could try to improve on, and that's the circle that you mentioned, especially with finding the balance with everyday everyday life, especially with juggling activities with my kids and my wife and my little brother, giving him some time because I'm also a DSP for him. He has special needs, and I have a mother that relies on me as well. So I try to, make sure that I'm not too everywhere, but at the same time, the time management piece, that's something that I think I could get a better handle on, especially with everything that is relied on me to do. I also have a nonprofit as well, where we're doing some things now to get ready for our season of activity starting in May. That's always been a challenge for me, just getting everything in order, especially with my busy schedule. So that's something that I feel like this videos and being a part of this class and having everyone going through similar battles will help me overcome eventually. So as far as business wise, things are things are looking good. I'm having a better start this year compared to others. I just got a I got an offer accepted this morning, and I've already had it done so far in January, and I have 2 pendings right now, some land contracts. So I feel like, you know, there's, you know, the sky, you know, everything is looking up for sure.
Good, good. Well, it sounds like you're pulled in a lot of directions. What do you do for you?
Well, I really don't. That's a very good question because,
I thought so.
I don't really focus too much on myself. I mean, I play soccer. That's about it. I play soccer 3 times a week, indoors. Good. So I think that's really about it. You know, I would like to go shopping for clothes eventually someday.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, I was
yeah.
Everyone, so
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I can't wear like sweatpants and sweatshirts anymore. Yeah, it's gonna be a whole new world. Okay, thanks. Cool. Bridget.
Yeah, I've just been thinking that it makes sense why they put this week where they do, because I swear I was just telling my husband last week, I was like, I just feel like I'm just, I'm not getting enough done and I'm not doing enough. And I feel like I'm just falling behind. Like, where does my day go every day? And yeah. And then I was listening to these this week and he overheard them and he was like looking back at me going, oh, yep, that's what you were saying. But so yeah, I liked that he talked about how to use your time, and obviously made me feel a bit better about that I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to, I'm not necessarily getting behind. I'm not being, failing if I'm not getting absolutely every step done, as long as I'm, keeping with it and putting in my time every day. That I feel better about it, I guess. And one thing that I changed this week was I liked how he said that he doesn't start the morning off with emails. That really resonated with me, because I feel like a lot of times I'll get up and I get my coffee and I sit down and I start getting into my emails, and then my mind goes all sorts of different places because I start thinking, okay, well, I have to get back to that person, and then I have to do this and I have to do that. And next thing you know, I've been checking my emails for 2 hours and I like haven't really gotten a whole lot done. It doesn't seem like. So I started out this week just starting my morning with my coffee and writing my personal notes. And that's actually been really nice. It's kind of just started my day off thinking about feeling like I got something done right away to begin with, which is nice. And then just kind of putting my mind right in the mode of what I need to be doing and focusing on it from the very beginning. And then I've just been like kind of catching up with emails around like lunchtime when I'm doing my lunch and kind of taking my break, checking my emails. And so, yeah, that's been working really, really great for me this week. So I'm going to stick to that. And yeah.
That's really insightful for you to see that and take a different direction, because it is true. I mean, you open your phone and off to the races. You're down the black hole. And what I call that is kind of being a leaf at the mercy of the wind. So, whichever way the wind blows you, that's what your day looks like. And if you start it by doing personal notes, that's great, because then you're actually feeling and exhibiting gratitude. That's one of the first things you do. Or even before you do that, if you have like some kind of a book or something that you can pick up and read a couple of pages of, to kind of just say, okay, this is for me, and then do your other things. But yeah, owning that first, I'd say the first 30 minutes of your wake up time, if you can get a hold of that early on, that's really important. And if you have to get up earlier to do that, I know people that have little kids, it's like, oh my God, like everything just blows up immediately when you open your eyes. My daughter used to like sit, like she'd come on my bed and open my eyes for me.
Yeah, my 3-year-old does that too.
Yeah, exactly. So trying to own that first few minutes of your day is probably one of the most important things to do, because that will set the pace for the whole rest. I have had those days when, and maybe some of you can relate to that. You open up your email and you get something that's just like, oh my God, do I have to deal with this? And it's got 45 pieces to get to the other end of it before you finish. So it's like the IRS sending you something on Friday, in the mail, and then you can't even talk to them until, for whatever. But it's just, I do not like somebody else grabbing a hold of my consciousness as soon as it's awake. So that's a really good insight there. Scott, Carl, Corey, whichever one of you guys want to go ahead.
I guess I'll jump in there. I really took these 3 modules to heart too, because I feel like I've been just sort of struggling to keep my head above water, spread pretty thin. So I really took these ones. I feel like they put them in the right spot too. See, it turns out I am actually getting some things done. It just didn't really seem like it.
Yeah.
But I also had the genius idea to put an office in my basement, and so that's been consuming some of my time. And thought while we're doing that, we might as well put the storage room in we've always wanted. And oh well, we might as well put this egress window in, so then I don't have to finish this room twice. So here we are, triple the time and double the budget later, and we're about halfway through it. So it
You're not done yet. There's something else that's going to be needing, like, oh, now we have to paint. Now we have to change the floor. Now we have to change.
Right.
Yeah. No.
You know the deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all right. Something that'll probably, when it's done, make your environment feel good for you. So that's great.
It was a necessary step, and I actually just took a new position at my job, to where I'm gonna be making as much in 3 8-hour days as I was in 5 9-hour days. So I had to lose my benefits in doing so, but it's gonna kind of open up my schedule quite a bit. So
that's great.
Little baby stepping my way out the door.
Good. Okay, who's left here? Carl?
Yep. Hi, how are we doing today, everyone?
Good.
Good.
You doing good?
I'm doing one. Thank you. So I did kind of like the how to win the day formula, I guess, but the one thing I struggle with is that's great that you only need 2 hours to win the day, but how do you get to the point that you only need the 2 hours? It's kind of like I like to watch How It's Made shows. So a bottling factory, watching the beer roll off. Okay, that's great. That machine can rip off 1,000 beer bottles a minute. Who designed the machine that can do the 1,000 bottles a minute, and how long did it take him to do that? So that's kind of where trying to get to the point of getting all the background stuff going to be streamlined. But ultimately, it was pretty amazing to hear that that's really all it takes. And I just got my business cards and announcements Friday afternoon. And then it snowed all weekend, and I need some snow on the side. So having the modules of set up a time frame and then there's really no way to budget your time was kind of a oxymoron week there for me. But I just want to start getting that stuff sent out. Also trying to come up and streamline my list of people. I have a pretty good database going so far based off kind of some, previous home inspections I did. I'm not going to say they're the greatest. Referrals are what I'm trying to say there, but at the same time, just the way my life's gone the last year or so, and I don't have as many friends on a personal basis that I'm in touch with anymore. So also just trying to figure out who exactly I'm going to send stuff to get most bang for the buck. So just doing a lot of background stuff, but overall, Buffini makes great sense, and I watch the videos, and it's like, man, that's so easy. And then it's just like I get out there, and it's like, probably question myself still a little bit. And
you will. It's very normal to question yourself, and if you smaller is better right now. Like sometimes it looks like it's just too big to take on. So little chunks, little pieces, getting your database done is so important. And Carl, I'm sure you have some, fantastic people in your database just from your business before. And that's one of the things that I hope you guys are all taking advantage of is relationships with your business before. You've already hopefully established trust with those people, and they know who you are as a person, and they trust your skills. Maybe not your skills yet in real estate, but it's going to be up to you to show how those transfer. How those same things that helped you to be good at what you did before are the same skills that you're going to pull into doing real estate, and will help you feel a little more comfortable with the fact that somebody. I mean, like the worst question I can remember when I was first a realtor was like, if somebody asked me, how long have you been in the business? I was like, oh my God, 3 weeks, 2 months. But I learned how to even do a dialogue around that didn't put people off, and I don't think I ever had anybody that said, well, I just really don't, I don't want somebody that hasn't been around for forever. So there's ways to offset those things too. But right now, the focus is building your base, and your base is your database. That's your goal. So that's what has value, and over years has value for you to sell it. Like Tim's database is worth millions. But because it's been taken care of, and because the trust can be transferred if it is very organized. So this is really important time for you guys to be doing that. Which gives me, who do we have left? Corey, are you the only one left here? Yeah. So go ahead, Corey, and then I want to talk to you guys about the database. So.
Yeah, I mean, just really to mimic what everybody else has said, I feel like this hit at the right time. The last 8 days have been the busiest that I've been. The last 6 months went from having too much time on my hands to I feel like there wasn't enough minutes in the day. So
what are you doing?
I got 4 transactions in the last 8 days. So
wow.
It was came out of nowhere. But thankfully for me, this is kind of stuff that I was doing, not to the precision that Buffini would like us to have, but I was doing it because it was stuff, that I've been brought up with already. So it was just kind of like, okay, now let's really refine this stuff, get it going, and then boom, here's these things. And okay, shoot, now I need to be focusing on his other stuff, not just writing the letters, doing the Popeyes, things like that. So again, like to mimic what most everybody else has said, just finding that time to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and those around me that have got me to where I am. So
yeah, and it's a circle of constant making sure you're taking care of you, taking care of your family relationships, taking care of your clients that you're currently working with, and also not dropping the ball in lead generation.
Yep, exactly.
That's the place that I will tell you that the ball gets dropped, even by us veterans who've been around for a while, is we get, chasing a rabbit, 10 rabbits, and all of a sudden we forget that we need to gather food. So for the next season. So that's great. So I went into the to my side of, it's kind of the back end of the 100 Days to Greatness that shows what you guys have been doing, and I don't think it shows what you've been doing. That's why I want to talk to you guys about it, because I think it shows who has been actually recording your activities. So there's I think like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 of you who have recorded a few activities. I think Paul, you had probably the most recordings of your activities, and then everybody else was like 1 or 2 or 3 notes, calls, Popeyes, things like that. But it sounds like you're doing so much more than that, that I would like this week for you to all go in and start recording your activities. If you haven't started recording, and if you have started, like let's bring them up to speed, because the company is, we're watching you guys are like this, the first group of people to do this course and for the company to invest in this course. We want to show them that the activities that you're doing are reflecting in this incredible, and I know it's going to be an incredible amount of production from your whole group when we're done with this. So will you guys all agree to bring that up?
I probably totally dropped the ball. How do we record our activities? Sorry, I probably majorly missed the ball then.
So when you do, you're putting in all your people in your database, correct?
Yeah.
And you go in there, you go into the database and you just mark it like, did a call, did a note, did a pop by, and it starts recording. And then, yeah.
Hey,
and if you set them up on any campaigns, which will, like, if you don't miss, if you can be at the ATA tomorrow, Brittany Lahane is going to do tomorrow on setting up campaigns in Referral Maker that just, you talk about automatic, they just automatically send stuff out. And when that happens, it records itself on your activities that you have sent out these notes or call, and then it'll tell you when to make calls. So if you open that app up every day, it'll tell you immediately when you open the app what you have to do. What the heck was that? Oh,
I'm sorry. That was my computer restarting and I forgot to mute myself. Sorry.
Yeah. So in Referral Maker, as soon as you open up your app on Referral Maker, it immediately gives you like how many calls and notes and things that you need to do. And if you it tells you exactly who it is that you need to call.
Is there a way, if we're not, I know if you send it through Referral Maker, it like will mark it for you, but if you choose to do it outside of there, like I started putting in like, yes, I sent them this and I sent them that, but when you have to do that 250 times over here and 150 times over there, you know, is there a way to like bulk say I did this one activity and these are all the people I did it to? Because it seems
yes, there is. And if you go into, I don't have your facing one, but I know that during the class, when you do it, you can just mark off like people on it. Like there's a list.
I might have to call them. I wasn't able to find that. So I've been marking primarily on just my Excel because it's much quicker to just pull it down.
I'll go in and look at it. Or Tim, are you doing that right now? You look like you're doing it.
I'm trying to.
Because I did a few and then I was like, this is, I mean, I don't have enough time.
Yeah, you don't have to do them in the,
okay.
Open every file and do it that way.
Isn't Brittany talking about campaigns in Referral Maker on Thursday? Because
she is talking about campaigns.
Yeah, I bet that's something you can do through a campaign.
Yeah, we're just finishing and please stay with us here, but Dawn's going to be doing the next class. We're just finishing our 100 Days to Greatness class this time, and we're talking about keeping track of activities. So Dawn, maybe you know this answer too, or I don't know if Tim just looked it up, but when you want to go in and say, I sent 100 notes, you don't have to open each one of the files. There's a place to do that, correct?
I don't honestly know. That's why I said it might be a good question for Brittany on.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the answer.
I mean, I guess I've just had my assistant go through and enter them, and I think she does it manually. I think she goes into each contact.
Okay, but when they're doing the class, I think it's different, and I'm gonna find out about that.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about like sending the letters, Kathy? Or
anything I do a bunch of. So yeah, for one thing, announcement letters, I didn't use their system to send them out. I liked to customize it a little bit more. So I sent them out myself. So it didn't note it, but I don't want to go in and do that 250 times.
I know when we had the last advanced class, and I haven't looked at the list for this advanced class, but like Ben Schmale had like 450 notes or something that he wrote during that time, and I know he didn't open up every one of those. So I'm going to ask him. He may even be on the mentor call next. So
thank you.
So you guys, if you want to take let's take a break for 7 minutes, and And then you can come back to the class for mentors, and Dawn will be.
You can leave this open.